What did your friend do that accidentally turned you on? I remember a girl classmate friend liking the smell of my deodorant and just grabbing onto my arm and then proceed to walk beside me. What kind of deodorant? Nivea Men Fresh Active Deodorant. She was pulling me like aggressively but playfully. There came this weird comfort I had never felt even from my parents. Lol. It's weird. It isn't an own feeling though. So when it happens for the first time, it scares you. First time it happened to me with a girl I was super keen on. She was trying to show me the super I want be live how cool thing at a gallery. I was so startled by it, I don't think I even registered what she wanted to show me. 0 __o. Just many hours carrot. Yes, wanting more of that enthusiastic trust or however you'd call it. I slept over my friend's house because it was late and I didn't feel like driving home. She walks out of the room to change into what she sleeps in, which was a sleeveless band shirt with holes in it. The armholes were stretched and showed side boob, no bra, and just underwear bottoms. I made a move and we are married now. She insists to this day that she had no intention of seducing me. It's just what she's comfortable sleeping in. Lucky bastard. Meanwhile I like sleep nude, but sometimes cover myself in cocoa butter lotion and wrap myself in silk sheets and pretend I'm in a cocoon. Every morning I struggle to break free from my organic prison. And when I do, I become a beautiful creature of nature. And this totally encapsulates what it means to be a single adult woman. Sat beside each other. She lied her head down onto my lap. I went into panic mode and promptly jumped in my seat, making her sit back up. You idiot. You are correct. Choked me playfully. Shocked the hell out of me. Now Christian. Remember Jesus. That sounds like something the priest would say while choking you. Playfully. Decide to randomly put their legs on your lap to sleep while in a car. I imagine this is much worse if you have a foot fetish lol. Imagine being on Reddit for almost 6 years and then your most popular comment ever is a foot fetish related comment with a wholesome reward. Don't have a foot fetish, she's just very attractive. I always went by an abbreviation of my name. He was the only person to always use my full name. Dunno why, but always made me weak. Edit. My dad didn't call me by my full name. The daddy comments are creeping me out. And my name is Eloise. But people would call me L. Big group. 2 others share my first name. So all 3 of us were called by our last names. She would call me by my first name. And the other 2 by their last. I know that feel. We were sleeping in the same bed after a night out at our friend's flat. And she told me to spoon with her because she was cold. You know that was a hint. Right? Question mark? Exclamation mark. Right? Question mark? Question mark? I'm cold. Please put your junk against my butt. The question should have been, when did you miss obvious signals that your friend is DTF judging by all the replies? Half of me is happy that these people weren't trying to take advantage. But the other half is like, how did you misunderstand that? I swear like half of these are she grabbed my arm a few times and the other half is she literally straddled me while I was laying down on a bed/couch and said I was handsome. Nothing came out of it. Apostrophe. Whisper in my ear. Instant boner. Omelette du fromage. Omelette. Du. Fromage. I was making coffee in my AeroPress for us and pressing slowly on the top of it like you're supposed to when she shouldered me over a little and leaned on my hand to push it down faster. It was cute as duck and I'll never forget it. Damn/r/coffee has finally primed itself for horny jail. They also all have murderous rage because he pressed the button too fast. In high school a girl I hung out with changed clothes in front of me on the basis that well you've seen me in a bikini so whatever, and I was like yup. This just seems so logical. Never had issues changing in front of people and honestly bikini is just like an underwear, so I'd get that too. Guess it depends on how okay you are with guys getting crazy horny about it. The logic works on paper, but not in real life. A girl changing in front of you, showing panties and bra and stuff, is way more intimate and thus hotter than seeing that same girl in a bikini. Just saying. Didn't do shit. But we were rock climbing and the rope was too tight So he helped me untie it. So he got close enough for me to catch his smell and he actually smelled so good. Instant turn on. Might seem weird, but it is what it is. D. And nope, he wasn't sweating BC, he belayed me. Ah. The old my figure 8 is too tight from taking a massive whip move. Oldest trick in the book. When I was a junior, I grew my hair out and had it cut to a 10-foot tail. I'm sitting in class one day and my classmate behind me starts gently running her fingers through it. I melted into my chair. Fingers through hair pushes one to horniness levels which shouldn't be possible. Washing your os hair is one of the most romantic things you can do. She sat on my lap, sang Hey There Della lap, and every time she was with her friends and I rolled up they all stood there in silence and watched us talk. Then I got cancer. Never returned to 6th form and get into uni 4 years later. The same university she just enrolled in to do her masters. Edit. Not sure why this exploded so much, but thank you for all you kind words. Remember friends, life sucks. You can only play the cards you are dealt. Doesn't mean you can't bluff. That took a big twist in the middle randomly. Yeah, you're telling me. Was going to ask her out on the day before the October holiday. Never made it. Sad thing is I ghosted her because I didn't want her to see me like that. 4 years of shit. By then though we had both moved on. But we talk all the time nowadays and I feel like if we became single. But who cares? I love my GF. Shit happens. Ruffled my hair. It wasn't that big a deal. But she was one of my close friends and that just, wow. Have had several female friends bite me in a playful manner. Turned me on every single time. And she probably knew. There's one that, when I look back on might have known. Which if that's the case I wish I'd been a bit smarter. Another though. That's just how she shows affection. If she doesn't punch you or bite you, she doesn't love you. It sounds worse than it is. I had a friend who I hung out with during high school. We would make our homework together and always study together for the big tests. She was attractive, but I never looked at her that way. One day when we were in the library studying, I noticed that she wore a different perfume. When I asked about it, she came very close to me and made me sniff her neck. I never knew that I could get a boner so fast. After that, things went further and eventually we got married years later lol. Congratulations on the wedding. Congratulations on the boner. At the school dance a friend who I had a crush on came over and sat on my lap. Despite there being plenty of free chairs next to me. And just casually had a conversation. She knew and was ducking with you. Or trying to get you to make a move. You never know. Maybe she's Canadian or something. When she put her hands on the back of her neck while leaning on the table and her eyes never left yours while listening to you. Instant turn on. Yes, I can picture this way too easily. I literally cannot. At a party once, she sat next to me and we just hugged and leant on each other for about 10 minutes. She also said that she wished she had done that earlier. I'd had feelings for her for about a year before that, so it felt really good. Edit for everyone who said I should go for it. Right now that's not really viable, especially with COVID going on. We are both at university and about 4 hours away from each other. I'm also someone who will very rarely start a conversation as I'm afraid that the other person just doesn't want to talk to me, no matter how good friends we are. An wasted opportunity. If I learned something from this thread. This was 5 years back in high school. A female friend and I were put in a group together for a science project. We met up after school at her place. Because no one was home and she didn't want to drive over to my place. As I was sitting on my laptop and reading, she scratched my forearm with her nails to get my attention. Man. Her look in her eyes and the scratches. I still remember that. The look in her eyes that meant. Don't sit on your laptop, we have chairs. This is legit some shit my wife would say LMAO. Have this friend of mine. One day at home, while we were drinking with some other friends, she started singing. At that moment I looked at her and didn't just see my friend. I saw a very attractive young woman. I sometimes still see that moment when I look at her and shake the thought away. About a year ago I had the same thing with my girlfriend before we got together. I have had a thing for her for quite a while when this happened, but in that one night, where she drove me home from a festival at like 4 in the morning, She started to sing randomly to a song I happened to like very much at the time, and it was the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. I must have stared, because suddenly she stopped and asked if I stared because I liked it or because of something else. So then I told her that I really liked her singing, which she obviously denied because her singing was horrible. We said goodbye and I thought about what happened for the next few days. A week later I decided to ask her out, and we are still together 1 year later. Edit. Quite a few people have asked which song it was that she sang along to. I unfortunately can't remember which song it was, but I like it was a song popular at the time similar to Lewis Capaldi's Someone You Loved, but not that one, since it wasn't out at the time. The power of the SpongeBob theme song. I was once speaking to this customer and I couldn't understand her because of her thick Russian accent. So my coworker stepped in and started speaking fluent Russian, and I swear it was the hottest thing ever. I definitely have a thing for accents, because that shit was putting me in some type of mood. Fuck. You're definitely a sleeper agent, just saying. Gosh, that Italian family at the next table sure is quiet. My high school crush was sitting on a table during class and pulled me close to her and wrapped her legs around my waist to not let me leave. She was in cross country, so her legs had some decent power on them. Right after, she grabbed my arm and gently bit my forearm. Little did I know, she awakened 2 new things in me. Yeah, I'm sure that was completely accidental. Not dropping hints or anything. She was probably just being polite. I was in 6th form and all of our friends, male and female, were sat in one of the small rooms. There wasn't enough seats, so people were all sat on each other's laps. One of the girls was sat on my lap. This in of itself wasn't very arousing. She was a very quiet girl and just a friend, so I didn't think much of it. During one of the group conversations someone started singing, so, as you do, we all joined in, singing and doing a jig. I was bouncing the quiet girl on my knee while we all sang. She leaned in and whispered in my ear, "Can you stop bouncing me on your knee? You're making me really wet." Well, I didn't stop, but I also didn't stand up for a good 30 minutes. For those, like me, who don't know what 6th form is, the 6th form is the final stage in British secondary schools. This term is used in England, Northern Ireland, Wales and some other Commonwealth countries. The 6th form, or Key Stage 5, is the final 2 years of secondary education, U.S. high school. Students, typically between 16 and 18 years of age, prepare for their A-level, or equivalent, examinations. Thank you. I was like reading that as 12-year kids. Was very cavalier about getting changed in front of me. Just taking her bra off under her top to get comfortable is a good one too. Wow. My brain just involuntarily played back a highlights reel of every time this has happened for me. I love be in my bunk. The last guy I had a crush on, he was my boss. He was walking and folding his sleeves the same time, and I was looking at him because it was such a simple thing. But damn, I couldn't work the entire day. I had to call a friend to calm down. Lol. Great. Now the crush has resurrected. D. Edit. Thank you all for your comments. I'm really loving reading them all. Keep them coming. I haven't been able to stop smiling since I wrote this. Close bracket. Every guy on Reddit. Write that down, write that down. Hahaha if it helps. Bonus. Pastel colors work better. D. White works best. He was wearing white that day. Not really a friend, but my first boyfriend, when I was still finding out how attraction works, pulled the collar of his shirt and leaned his head to the other side because he wanted to scratch his neck. IDK. I probably have some fetish for collarbones and necks. LMAO. Collarbones and necks are some of the sexiest shit there is. Hell yeah. I thought biceps are pretty attractive, but necks. Dear MN. We were both drunk at a friend's house party, and I playfully pulled her hair to get her attention. She gasped, and then gave a happy little moan. What made it hotter was the way she gripped the seat of her chair with both hands, and encouraged me to do it again. And so I ended up playing with her hair all night. I still think about her gorgeous bliss-filled face, though sadly we never took it any further. Bro. She's practically edging off you pulling her hair, and she asks you to do it again to the point where you're doing it all night. and it didn't go any further? You missed a wide open layup, my dude. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.